and the scientific value of when the birds come back to St Kilda and Middle Beach and around that area, what is it that they're coming home to? That they come home to that place to feed and get themselves ready to fly again away the following year. But in doing that, what's happened is the bird sanctuary has become a conservation park, and it's been a protected area for the birds. There's other wader birds that are there too, and we're looking at the well-being of the birds and also the people that live around that area, and about the country and looking after the country. That's all along the inside of that St Vincent's Gulf. It's been a journey for lots of people, in as far as we've had many people across many agencies sit at the table, and hence that's part of the collective action roadmap that we've developed together. And I think it's the togetherness that's been the most important thing that's happened in the last 2 years. What's happened is it's given the Kaurna community an opportunity to look at the area and see what spiritual significance there is, what heritage sites there are, and what places are of importance, and whether we can have a nature-based tourism industry around the shorebirds, and for people in the north to maybe have another activity where they actually watch birds, become bird watchers, and become active in the community and walking and feeling well about themselves while walking on country and enjoying the wonderful sight that's out there, and how peaceful it is. There's a group that's the Friends of the Bird Sanctuary, and of course there's lots of international guests because the birds do fly over different countries to get to Russia and come back. So there's a world global interest for the migratory birds, but this is just another significant thing that when the big boats come into Port Adelaide and there's more tourism happening, it's an economic development for tourism around nature-based, and it has the, a collective impact for all the people that have been involved across all of the departments and all of the agencies and the community.
Thank you.
And even the Vietnamese community out at Virginia.
Thank you, Lynette. And that also demonstrates that we've been talking a lot about children today, but collective impact isn't just about children, it's about communities working together to create change in an area they're passionate about, and that can be about children, but also about birds. Now that you've gotten to know our panel a little bit better and learn more about their involvement in Together in the South, the Mid-Murray Family Connections, and the Adelaide International Bird Sanctuary, I would like to delve a little bit deeper into what they believe community bring to the table and what needs to be in place for community members to thrive in collective impact work. Belinda, why do you believe it's important to have community leaders involved in a collective impact initiative? And what do you bring to the table that other members of Together in the South who represent government or an NGO don't?
I think community members bring a unique perspective because it's a lived experience perspective. As a community member, I bring to the table a voice from my community, my own family, my own neighbourhood, my street. In our initiative, we have a number of people that, yes, are in employed roles, but a lot of our initiative are actually local residents in our community. So you can be at our table as a worker, but also a community member. For me as a community member, I know that, yeah, I ask different questions, I think, and also I bring the perspective, because I'm having those conversations a lot more. Like it's literally when I come to a meeting that might be in between a school drop or a kindy pickup or cuddling my baby or something like that. And by being in the community, that's the conversations I have in the school ground, in the supermarket, at the playgroup. I met a young mum once and she was just noticing that my 4-year-old was really chatty, and she just asked me to listen to her little girl who wasn't speaking as well, and she just had a few concerns about her speech development, and we were just sitting on a log in the garden of the playgroup, and we just got to have a really good chat about that, and I just was able to chat and say, have you read stories or things like that, but it was really disarming and it was really a mutually beneficial conversation.
Thank you, Belinda. Colin, do you agree with that, what Belinda was saying? Is that something you recognise?
Yes, absolutely. It's essential having community members involved. In Mid-Murray last year we split into 4 work groups, and you could see the difference in the ones where community members were leading the group. And we had one group made up of some local mums who wanted to do something to help the situation. It can be quite isolating in rural areas for a mum to go home with a new baby. In city areas, you know, mum may be around the corner, grandma may be there, aunts, other girlfriends, but it can be isolating in the rural areas. So they set up a Facebook page, Mid-Murray Mums, to enable these mums to connect with each other and have the conversation that others could have. And this just builds up the confidence of those mothers, and must be wonderful for the children involved. So well done to the Mid-Murray Mums. A couple of them are here with us today.
Auntie Lynette, within the bird sanctuary, you have a really high level of engagement of the Aboriginal community. What is the community knowledge and skills that they bring to the initiative that other people at the table don't have?
Well, I think it's the first time there's been genuine engagement as far as working, talking, and I suppose not quite living, but doing a lot of working on country, and having the chance to help to take care of it. You know, we have other helpers as well, but it's being included in that, and it's an inclusive process that's happened for the Kaurna people.
Thank you so much. Within your initiative, but also when you think about collective impact for any other initiatives here in the room, would those initiatives be able to succeed without people like you, community leaders that are at the table, that are doing part of the work, making decisions? Do you think that could work, yes or no?
I don't think you can have something to impact the community without involving the community in it. You can't have a collective impact without the collective being there. So the community must be involved at all levels to get that to work. So there's 2 things. One is have the community involved. The other thing is to actually do something. You can't have any impact unless you do something. You don't have to have a perfect plan. Just do something, review it, see how you can do it better, and just get on with it.
I think community members are the best enablers as well to bring in the invitation to other community members to see that change. And I think community members keep it real, so absolutely this work doesn't work without us and people like us. And I think another gift that community members bring is they remind you of the people, often in organisations, and collective impact's about smashing silos, hey? Like we do this together. And so it's about remembering, we can get caught up in the data, and I've been on a massive learning curve with what data is and what we need it for. But I know in our initiative, something I bring is the name, the face. These are lived lives, these are real people, and sometimes we can get away from that. But for collective initiatives and collective impact to work, it's about who are we and why are we doing this and who are we doing it for and with.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we don't have more time. We could talk about this for hours, but thank you so much, Auntie Lynette, Colin and Belinda, for sharing your valuable insights. It is clear from what you've shared today that active involvement of community is crucial to achieving positive and sustainable impact in our communities. and that you and the other people here in the room that are also community members are delivering an invaluable contribution to this work. I would like to have an applause for you, but also for all these other people out there who are part of the community, because without you we couldn't do this. Thank you very much.